These are the newest earbuds from Bose. They're $179, and despite being much cheaper, most of the best of Bose made it onto these earbuds, including industry-leading microphone quality, active noise cancellation, aware mode, and even the sound quality is just really hard to complain about. These are really good earbuds all around. They eliminated some of my biggest complaints from the Bose QuietComfort Ultras, like for example, you can now turn off ANC in aware mode. It's not just like a Spectrum, which saves on battery life, and they have multi-point connectivity, but they also added a few new and kind of weirder features, like a camera control feature. And there's a lot that we're going to talk about in this video, but there are also a few significant compromises. But before we get into the compromises, let's start off with the really awesome stuff, the active noise cancellation. I'll show my results on screen right here. I do this test where I play a white noise at a set distance away. I turn that volume up until the earbuds are no longer able to block that. And these at $179 are beyond competitive. These are really, really good active noise canceling earbuds. And because like Bose is doing this, and just like all the other Bose earbuds, it's a very clean ANC as well. So not only is it very powerful at dropping those sounds, but you don't have a lot of artifacts, you don't have a lot of white noise, and even in a quieter environment, it's still very capable of blocking everything around you. I think that's going to be one of the biggest and strongest selling points of them. They're also great at blocking higher frequencies as well, even though the silicone ear tips are more of an oval shape and don't seal perfectly in my ear. Like they seal well, but I think the circular ones are going to have more of a seal for me. These still do a fantastic job with that. And then secondly, the transparency mode, or as Bose calls it, the aware mode. Well, these do a fantastic job there as well. The microphones pick up everything around you, they replay it in your ears, and it has a really good volume. It sounds very natural, and even subtle little sounds, keyboards clicking, rubbing your fingers together, you can hear all of that very, very naturally. You can easily hear the directions of sound as well, so you have like a very natural reproduction of the world around you, and very accurate frequency response as well. So if somebody's talking, or if you're watching like TV with these in and it's playing through there, not that you'd ever do that, but like you could do that, and it's easy to forget these are in your ear. There is a little bit of white noise though, so when there's not a lot of sound around you, you can hear a really, really faint hissing. That's kind of natural for transparency. So not quite as good as AirPods, but very, very, very close to them. I would say these are easily within like the top 3 to 5 best transparency modes out there. Probably actually tied in second place, I would say. All right, so let's get into a microphone test.
These are the Bose QuietComfort earbuds indoors in a studio environment. I think these sound really fantastic in this environment. They're going to struggle a little bit more outside in a louder environment, but if you're like on a business call, on a Zoom call, whatever, let me know what you think about the microphones on these earbuds. Personally, I was definitely very impressed on how natural they really do sound. But again, we'll go outside and see how they really block out a lot of the other sounds that tend to be a lot more difficult for Bose earbuds. All right, so I'm outside. There's some traffic behind me. Honestly, it's not really breezy. I was hoping there'd be a little bit more ambient sound here, but let me know how the microphones perform here. I'll get a reference shot for you so you can compare the volume with and without these microphones.
All right, so this is just the ambient noise recording with just the native microphone, not with the earbuds. You can see there definitely is a decent amount of ambient noise, but how well did the Bose earbuds actually block it out? Let me know. So ANC and transparency, absolutely awesome with these. The design, well, Bose has never been a company to make small earbuds, but these are smaller than the Bose QuietComfort Ultras in some regards, so that's a positive. The case is still pretty gigantic, and compared to other earbuds in the market, the earbuds are still pretty gigantic. But starting off with the case, we do have wireless charging. We have a little LED indicator on the front for like battery level and pairing and stuff like that. On the back, your USB Type-C charging if you want to charge it up that way. The case is, has a really nice magnet in there. Like you can really shake it. Okay, actually one of the best magnets in there that I've seen is these are not going to fall out. I've actually dropped this case before as well, and the earbuds didn't fall out then either, so I think that's a positive. They come in 3 different colors. There's like a smoky white color, which for me, I really like. It's not like a bright white that's really gaudy, but it's also not, it doesn't match my skin tone, so it's kind of nice. It's an off-white. I think it's a good balance there. There's also a black color and a purple color. Then looking at the earbuds, again, protruding definitely quite far, we have kind of 9 different options you have here for how these can fit. So 3 different silicone ear tips and 3 different stability bands. The stability bands are not really a full wingtip, but Bose has been doing this for a little while where it's supposed to help grip your ear, and because these are a little bit smaller than the Ultras, they do stay in my ears a good bit better. These are IPX4 water resistant, and the battery, because we are able to turn ANC off now, you can maximize it up to 8.5 hours in the earbuds and 31.5 hours when you include that case. Now, as far as aesthetics go, again, I said I don't really mind the color of them, but the size is certainly going to be something you will notice. So you can see wearing them, they definitely stick down a little bit. They kind of look a lot more like the Sony X Mark IIIs, I think, from probably 3 or 4 years ago. But regardless, I don't know, like, let me know what you think in the comments down below about the aesthetics. Definitely large, but maybe not the worst out there. As far as the comfort goes with these, again, they are a little bit larger. They stay in my ears reasonably well if I'm like sitting, typing, walking, maybe even a light jog. They could stay in your ears, but if my ears are sweaty, or if I am like doing burpees or anything more dynamic where you're inverting your head more, they do tend to work their way out of my ears, specifically with the left ear for me, which is a pretty common problem for a lot of earbuds. But I was hoping they would stay in a little better with that stability band on there. But still, these are the best fitting Bose earbuds I've ever used. I think that's a big positive. When you put them in your ear, as I just noticed right there, there is a different chime sound compared to in the past. That is because these no longer have the Bose calibration where they play that like really warm bassy tone and calibrate based on everyone's ears and then adjust the sound accordingly. These don't have that, so they just have a little chime when you put them in your ears just to let you know that they recognize they're in your ears. And speaking of features on these earbuds, there's also a brand new Bose QuietComfort Earbuds app. So it's not the Bose app anymore. You have a second app here, completely redesigned, completely separate. And as you can see, it's honestly a very different design, which I kind of do like. Very minimal, very clean. You don't have to go into a million different, a whole wormhole to get into where you want to be. Everything's right there. You want to change noise control, you can change it right here. They also have a new feature called voice control, where you can just say, hey, headphones, and tell it to do things. More on that in a second. But within each control, which I really do like this. So if you're looking at noise control, the adjustment for how you're going to trigger it is right on the bottom. Touch controls, you can change it right there. There's a whole touch control section. But for example, if you want to change like fast mute, again, that's really easy to adjust what the control is for that. Remote selfie is kind of a new feature where you can either tell it to do that or you can use the controls, which makes sense. On most phones, the volume up or the volume down is going to trigger your shutter. And so the earbuds are just doing that. I don't know if any other earbuds in the past just naturally already did that. I've never tried, but it's something you can do. The only problem is if you're touching your earbuds to take a picture, all your pictures are going to be like this. Unless you're like, you have like maybe a half second to quickly take your hand away, but I don't know that it's necessarily better than like a timer, or if you have a Samsung phone, just holding your hand up. We have an EQ right here. It's not like the best EQ out there. If you go over to custom, you have 4 or 5 different bands, and you can, adjust them a little bit. It's kind of, I don't know, a funky UI there, but like I said, it's good enough for adjusting these earbuds here. They're not going to be audiophile grade earbuds. We don't even have the highest resolution codecs on here. The voice control, getting into that, I found that this was something that I swear all earbuds this year are adding this feature. I don't know why they're all doing it right now. It's something that I don't really find particularly useful. I could see maybe if you're like carrying groceries and you want to pause your music, you can do that. This is a little bit finicky, probably the most finicky I've seen out of earbuds implementing this feature. So sometimes it works, and when it works, it's really cool. It's really nice. You can change the volume. You can turn on like ANC. You can take a photo if you wanted to, but again, you're gonna have earbuds in your ears, like fairly large earbuds in your ears. But I don't know. When it works, it's cool, but a lot of times it doesn't work for me. Like right now, when I was filming this video, maybe 20 minutes ago, it did not work at all. Like I could not get this to work. I even tried calibrating it, and it just didn't work. Otherwise, we have a battery prediction on the bottom telling you kind of semi-precisely how long the battery is going to last based on how you're using it, which I think is pretty cool. And we have smart calls right here. Again, that kind of voice command where you could just say accept or reject. You don't have to say, hey, headphones for that. We also have low latency audio. So if you're doing anything with gaming, or I don't know, other apps usually compensate, but mostly gaming, I would say, is going to be where you'd want to enable the lower latency here. Oh, and the touch controls, interestingly, even though these have a really large touchpad right there, and it's very reliable, there is no swipe feature. This seems like a really easy implementation to have a swipe feature because we have such a big surface area, but we don't. We just have single, double, triple, and tap and hold for the left and the right. Although it is nice how customizable all 8 of the controls actually are, but I don't know, I think swipe controls would make a lot of sense for volume and stuff like that. Getting into the sound quality, these do not have that custom tune, like I said, where it calibrates to your ears. They also do have Bluetooth 5.3, but no high resolution codecs, just SBC and AAC. With all that said, however, the audio is really quite impressive. Like, it's very Bose sounding audio. It's warm, it's clean, with a pleasant balance that I think most people will really appreciate. There's a tad more bass and sub bass than I would prefer, so definitely a little bit lifted on the low end, but I think a lot of people, like I said, would really enjoy this. It's not like the super in-your-face V-shaped consumer dynamic profile. It's just a nicer, warmer tone that doesn't really sound muddy, doesn't really get distorted. The bass remains punchy instead of being boomy, and the low end could also be tamed in the EQ if you wanted to do so. So I personally would like a little bit more clarity and a little bit more detail. I end up turning up the volume a little bit more so I can hear those higher tones in here. But despite the lower resolution audio, kind of a summary on the audio quality here, I think these are very, very impressive. I think there's very little to complain about here. The soundstage is nice and wide. There's decent instrument separation. I'm impressed by the audio on these earbuds, but not everything is great with these earbuds. Getting into some cons, then some pros, and then my final thoughts. The cons, the left earbud specifically, I noticed the stability band seems to rotate a lot. I don't know if it's how I put it in my ear, if I accidentally twist it very slightly, but when it rotates, it actually covers up one of the microphones on the bottom. So kind of a bad design here that the locating feature doesn't really lock it in better than it does. And when you kind of slightly cover that, all of a sudden the wear sensors seem to really significantly malfunction. I'll be wearing it and after 30 seconds, the earbud just shuts off. I don't know if that's a connectivity issue or a wear sensor. I believe it's a wear sensor issue because if I readjust the stability band, put it in my ear again, it usually fixes the problem, at least for like the rest of the day. There are still some other weird quirks I saw, like the buggy Hey Headphones feature. The voice commands are definitely very spotty. And other cons, as I mentioned throughout this video, they're chunky earbuds. They don't have, like, even though there's a big surface area, they don't have swipe controls. And weirdly, like, I get that these are large earbuds, but there are no locating features. If you lose them, you just have to go into Spotify and play like the loudest music you can, I guess. I don't really know why there's not a better locating feature for a $180 pair of earbuds. And lastly, there is no immersion or spatial audio mode. Honestly, I do not care at all. I never use that feature, but I did hear some rumors that it may be coming soon to these earbuds through an update. At least at launch, though, I didn't see that feature in here. Now, getting into the positives. I think there are a number of positives with these earbuds. You're getting a lot of the best from Bose at $179, which is a very competitive price. You're getting multi-point connectivity, fantastic sound, fantastic active noise cancellation, great microphones. Across the board, these earbuds really do a lot. So in conclusion, objectively, these are some of the best earbuds you can buy for $179. Industry-leading ANC, industry-leading call quality, great transparency, great sound quality, and all of that's incredible. But the nuances, right? Like the pillars are all there. The nuances are kind of making them feel a little bit more like Bose overreached with some buggy features and a bulky, cheaper design. So if you just want the fundamentals of flagship earbuds, like I said, sound, ANC, transparency, microphones, get these. These are good earbuds. But if you want balanced all-around earbuds that are not buggy, that offer smaller packages and more refined features, there are some other options out there that could be a better purchase for you. So that's my thought on these earbuds. A lot that goes right. Maybe software could really fix these through some updates, but I don't know. It's kind of a really interesting, very Bose pair of earbuds.